The wedding hall glowed with golden chandeliers, the air filled with laughter, music, and the scent of roses. It was supposed to be the happiest day of Alina's life, but beneath the glittering surface, cruelty was about to unfold. The bride, Isabella, a woman known for her arrogance and sharp tongue, decided to put on a show that no one expected. With a sly smile, she pointed toward Maria, her heavily pregnant maid, and demanded that she sing in front of the entire crowd. Maria froze. She had been working for Isabella for 3 years, enduring countless insults, long hours, and meager pay just to survive. Now, with a child growing inside her, every day was a battle of exhaustion and hope. Singing was not part of her duties, and the shame of being forced to perform at her employer's wedding burned her heart. She clutched her stomach instinctively, her eyes welling with tears. The guests began whispering. Some chuckled cruelly, others looked away uncomfortably. Maria's trembling hands showed her fear, but Isabella, with her rich gown and jeweled crown, leaned back in her chair and mocked. "Come on, Maria. You're good at scrubbing floors, but can you entertain us too?" The humiliation cut deeper than any wound. Just as Maria was about to refuse, a deep voice interrupted. At the far end of the hall, standing tall in his perfectly tailored suit, was Alexander Hartman, a millionaire investor and a longtime family friend of the groom. He had come quietly, not seeking attention, but now all eyes turned to him. "Is this how you celebrate love?" Alexander asked, his voice calm yet commanding. The hall fell silent. By humiliating a woman carrying life inside her. His eyes, sharp as steel, fixed on Isabella. Her confident smile faltered. But Isabella scoffed, pretending not to care. "It's just for fun. She works for me. She should be grateful I let her be part of this moment." The words sent a shiver down the room. Maria lowered her gaze, ashamed, yet inside she prayed someone would stand up for her. She had known cruelty all her life, abandoned by her family, left to work menial jobs, and now mocked when she needed kindness most. Alexander took a step forward. "Maria," he said gently, his voice softer now, "you don't have to sing for anyone tonight. But if you wish, sing for yourself, not for them. Sing for your child, for your strength, for every dream you still carry." Maria's tears spilled. Something inside her, long buried beneath years of silence, stirred. She had always loved to sing, once dreaming of becoming a singer before life crushed her hopes. Slowly she nodded. With trembling lips, she began to sing, not for Isabella, not for the crowd, but for herself. Her voice, though fragile at first, grew strong and soulful. The melody filled the hall, piercing hearts with raw emotion. Guests who moments ago mocked her now sat stunned, many with tears in their eyes. Even the groom, who had remained quiet, shifted uncomfortably, realizing the cruelty of his new wife. When Maria finished, silence hung heavy, broken only by the sound of sobs from the crowd. Alexander clapped slowly, his eyes never leaving Maria's. "That," he said firmly, "was the voice of courage." The applause spread, filling the hall. People stood not for Isabella, not for the wedding, but for Maria. Isabella's face burned red with rage and humiliation. She tried to shout, to take control, but the moment was gone. Everyone had seen her cruelty exposed, her arrogance shattered. After the ceremony, Alexander approached Maria. "You don't belong in the shadows of people like her," he told her. "You have a gift, and more importantly, you have dignity. Let me help you." Maria hesitated. She had trusted no one for years. But something in Alexander's eyes told her he was different, not a savior, but someone who respected her humanity. She agreed to meet him the next day. Weeks turned into months. With Alexander's support, Maria found her voice again, not as a maid, but as a singer. She began performing at small community events, her songs carrying the story of resilience, motherhood, and hope. People admired her not just for her voice, but for her courage to rise from humiliation. When her child was born, Maria named him Gabriel, a name that meant strength from God. She often sang lullabies to him, whispering that one day he would grow up knowing his mother never bowed to cruelty. As for Isabella, her marriage crumbled within months. The groom, ashamed of her behavior, filed for separation. The world she built on arrogance collapsed, while the maid she once mocked became a voice that inspired many. The story spread across the city, not of Isabella's wedding, but of the maid who sang with courage and the millionaire who stood up for dignity. And so, the lesson remained: true wealth is not measured in gold or power, but in the compassion you show to others. The hall still buzzed with tension after Maria's song. Guests whispered among themselves, exchanging uneasy glances. Some shook their heads at Isabella's cruelty, while others admired Maria's strength. But Isabella was not ready to let the spotlight slip away. Enough of this drama, Isabella snapped, rising from her seat. This is my wedding, not a stage for servants. Her voice cracked with desperation, but no one applauded her this time. The attention she craved had shifted, and she couldn't bear it. Maria lowered her gaze, ready to retreat, but Alexander stepped closer. Your wedding should be about love, Isabella. But today, everyone here witnessed what's truly in your heart. His calm yet piercing words cut through the hall like thunder. The groom, Daniel, finally spoke. Isabella, why? Why would you humiliate her like this? She's pregnant. She's human. His voice shook with anger and disappointment. Isabella's eyes widened. She had never imagined Daniel, usually so quiet, would speak against her in public. You're taking her side, she spat. I'm taking the side of decency. Daniel replied coldly. Maybe you should try it. The room gasped. Isabella's face turned pale. For the first time in her life, her wealth and status could not protect her from judgment. Maria, still trembling, whispered, Please, I don't want to cause any trouble. She tried to walk away, but Alexander stopped her gently. You did nothing wrong, he assured her. Never apologize for someone else's cruelty.